services for them now or for the election? Or?
Well, I do for now. Right. I can't talk about any of that anyway.
Oh, I got you. I
How
got
they do it, but everything is computed based off statistics and probabilities and past trends and things that are influencing the news, crime that happens.
Yeah, as I said,
Right,
numbers.
yeah.
It's
It's all
demographics, looking at the data, looking at, blending it all together. Of course, now there's a good and a bad side to these things.
Right. Because you can impact the outcome. If you know how to predict what's going to happen, you can figure out, okay, what do I have to do in order to make it go the other direction? Which is one thing the Clinton campaign has been famously good at, because, the Monica Lewinsky scandal came out fantastically right about the time the Whitegate was happening. And took all of the press media away from the Whitegate to, oh my God, the president had sex in the Oval Office with an intern.
That's a whole nother level. That's a whole nother cube added into this puzzle.
That's
into
how
the data,
influence
manipulation of
people's
information,
That's right.
the information you have, when to put it out, all of these things.
Yeah.
I mean, Con News Today, and now for more shit, we made up socially engineer.
Right.
And that's it. And that's what I'm talking about here, is the social engineering aspect. Because now we're talking about when you look at what Google can do and with Facebook and all these integrated systems. Isn't this the matrix that we've been warned about?
So most people think so. It's not going to get there. So we don't have what you call artificial intelligence systems. In my world, we have what we call pseudo-intelligence systems, right? Because there's a human element that no computer is ever going to be able to reproduce, right? Because a computer doesn't have a left
I'm not
side
so
of the
sure of
brain.
that. How do we defeat, because you brought up to me,
Right.
is one of our biggest challenges we face, is how do we defeat AI without it defeating us? I mean, once you start getting self-replicating robots.
Yeah, especially on a nano scale, like when they're really, really small and you can't even see them, then, it's kind of like us trying to defeat the Zika virus, right? And the mosquito. Right now, we're bioengineering mosquitoes to cure diseases. Exactly, it's xenogenesis, right? It's not just xenogenesis, but it's epidemiology also. So how do you trigger which one of your genes actually are activated in your body? Because we all have the same genes, but what's activated in mine is different from yours, is different from his. So it's not just the xenogenesis, but the epidemiology and the order in which they're created controls how a person makes decisions, whether you react logically, whether you react emotionally, whether you are able to relate with people, whether you're introvert or extrovert, whether you're...
Who's controlling this data right now? Because it's obviously a status being,
Well,
like there's information being stored.
Right.
We got the NSA, we got 17 different intelligence agencies on, that.
Well, you have more than that in the U.S., right?
Well,
you just have
yeah,
some
that's the
that
way
are
I'm talking about, the ones we know, the sub-agencies that
Right.
get into the web, that they don't even know they exist.
Right.
But again, it gets...
But you have people in the mix. So the thing about it is you're never going to get... You can get any 10 people in the room, and those 10 people are never going to agree on everything, every topic that comes up, right? So you're never going to get universal consensus among people, because people are all very uniquely programmed, right?
But in a sense, though, we're not all that complicated going when you know how to direct their emotions.
That's
true.
true.
I mean, that's just being in sales, marketing, studying psychology all my life.
Right.
That there's a few things that can trigger people to act a certain way: fear, greed, want of want.
Okay, so I agree with you. You can put an impetus out there, right? You can put a stimulus that could cause something, right? But even something like fear, some people make growth-based decisions, and some people make fear-based decisions. Some people respond to fear in different ways. Right? You have no
You can pretty much go down to a science about.
It is.
Not that it's infallible. I mean, there are exceptions.
People are phenomenally unpredictable. Right. So yes, for 90% of the world, you've got sheep out there. You can manipulate them. but you're always going to have people who are outliers who are going to be able to step back and look at things objectively.
Still, what is that 10% of the exceptionals, and let's say that? How do they defeat?
0.01% of the world is above the genius level.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Right.
I'm just happy to be somewhere in the top 10%. I'd be elated. You know, I mean, I'm okay with that. I mean, 50% of it. I mean,
What we're gonna do is get on a boat and go to a new continent.
you kind of have a
What a new planet.
well, indeed, and I really think that if we unleashed our potential,
Right.
that would be possible, especially with all the, the science that you're.
Right.
You
So
know.
the epigenealogy science that the neuroscientists are currently working on is about how to make us use our brains more efficiently and how to stimulate the more logical portions of your brain rather than because we're making a slide. If you look over history, we're becoming more and more emotional beings and we're being logical beings because it's all about entertainment, it's all about immediate gratification. You see this
It makes sense.
process. I mean, it's tied to our
What is it
economy.
that was also? Here's the deal. That was programmed.
After a fashion, right? It depends on if you're an existentialist or not.
It was programmed.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, when you start reading the social engineers of our past century,
Right?
they knew from the get-go
Exactly.
that they
yes.
wanted to go ahead and make a dumbed-down populace. They wanted to take control of the message, the education, the health, all of it.
Right.
So, and it was a plan because they could figure they could, okay, they can have us be happy idiots playing, Xbox like that. Or they can just kill us. Yeah. Or they can just kill us.
Well,
And they are, because they
have.
haven't made any bones about it. I mean, you read the Georgia Guidestones.
Yes.
I mean, so we know they exist. And we read, read our current science on hold, and he wrote the book in 1980, Eco Science, in which he states, we need to kill off about 80% of the world to make it sustainable. And this is our current science are. These are the people that indeed want to, and that's why the bullshit global warming thing.
But that's like, I think we're trying to take
Science proves that global warming's happening.
Well, there are a collection of scientists.
It used to be a ball of lava, so it has cooled significantly.
No, so there are collections of scientists, and that's one of the reasons why Trump is calling for the research the scientists have done, and they have denied him access to the science, because it is really easy to put something out there and say, okay, this is science, I did this study, without saying this is my
Case in
sample
point,
set of
and
data.
this was yesterday. I would have already caught this part. They're teaching very small children in school now that your parents are wrong about global warming. So they're kids,
Right.
5, 6 years old, right in. So they're indoctrinating and saying
In school, yes.
anything you hit. So this part of human nature that is in control now of the technology that you are eyeballs deep in.
Yes.
How do we stop that ugly part that has control of all of this technology from using this to achieve their goal of completely annihilating us and actually merging with machines, the Ray Kurzweil BS,
Right.
we're going to become gods, and if you're not going to be with us, the hell with you.
Right.
Kind of attitude, because that's where they're heading. That's what they're trying to get in, and they came or coming or still could be damn close to doing that.
They're very close to their engaging. They're very close to it. So people who have access to the technology and to the science and to money and to power definitely get to call the shots.
And
right?
then
It's like
when-
historians
But
write.
then when you get to again, go back to the nanobot robot technology, when those things be able to start forming themselves,
And they can now. In controlled environments, they can do it now.
there you go. Wow, you've seen this? You work with that, or
Well, I work with people who do work with it. My second degree is in physics, in math and physics.
so where do we go then from here? What do you see in the immediate future? And how do we put the brakes on this technology taking us over? Because to me, like you say, as frail as we are, 90% of us are walking around with, our head in our butts. So I mean, they're helpless. And I don't know how much the other 10% or even 1%, super geniuses.
Well, most of them don't care, right?
Well, again, psychopaths, sociopaths are all there. And I don't care what they are. When we run into that, it reminds me of an old Ron Cobb cartoon. It's one of my favorites.
I don't know this.
Well,
I don't know this reference.
I'm
sorry.
a cartoonist, but
Okay.
he was a famous cartoonist in the '60s. One-frame cartoons, very stark. He did a lot of devitation stuff. But this is the cartoon. Oh, it's one of the ones I wish I would have done. You got the scientists down here, the clipboards and the white coats, and the generals all down there. You got this like 40-foot robot with the gun turrets and the laser beams and everything, right? And in the background, all these crushed, blown-up tanks, buildings, everything else. And this robot standing over him, and the caption is, "What next, stupid?"
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the moment I'm looking at, that we're in at this moment. When we get to that what next stupid moment, what do we do? How do we prevent ourselves from getting there?
So the only thing that we have right now that we're working on to control, say, because so let me explain. It's going to take a short explanation. So
Sure.
right now we're exploring the repopulation, the automatic generation of new nanobots to go in and repair cellular structure, to cure cancers, to go in and do things internally into your body so that there's not invasive procedures that cause people to die. They're wanting to do a lot of good things with it, but there is also that possibility. Is okay, now how do we prevent it from doing anything else? How do we prevent it from,
Just running amok on its own?
They don't need kidneys. Let's take away the kidneys, right? So they're coming up with kill switch kind of technology. So they're still like, but it's very
But
nascent.
none of that stuff is fail-safe. I mean, it's,
None of it is perfectly fail-safe. It really is not. So it is chance. Then the thing is about an epidemiology community,
we're dealing with.
chance. I know, right? Well, we always deal with chance.
But
That's
in
human
the
race.
past we deal with chances that are going to go, what next, stupid? I
Well-
mean, completely taking us over, not in a long period, in a short period of time. Because once the first one replicates, it goes, okay.
But it's still a computer, right? It's not an artificially intelligent system. They do some self-learning, and it depends on how much self-learning it is capable of doing. We're not capable of creating quantum computing yet. We're not capable of creating truly self-identifying, self-learning machines yet. So we're not at that point
How
yet.
far in the future?
I don't think it's that far off, right?
Well, then,
I really
go
don't
back
think
to my
it's that
original
far
question.
off.
Let's say it's 10, 20, 30 years ahead. So at that point, mankind ceased to exist.
That's a possibility. So the argument right now in the community is whether or not do you believe that mankind will work together against a common enemy in which we can accomplish very much and do good things for the betterment of mankind, or do you think that mankind is going to be the risk and point fingers like we're doing right now, largely, right? So are we going to evolve into better mankind so that we supersede the need for automated beings to take us out? Or are we going to stay de-evolved and become a past species, much like we've put other species out? That's why the epidemiology research is so important, is because there used to be 4 different hominid species on the planet. There's now only one hominid species on the planet, and it's because of epidemiology triggering. We learned faster, we learned to create tools, we learned to do things, and so we were superior, we were better hunters, better gatherers. We learned to raise our children safer, and we propagated our line, and now we are the dominant species on the planet.
My analogy
It may
to a
not
lot of
always
this,
be.
it fits in with this, because just back to the basic of this past election. It was a bad, basically, it wasn't Democrats against Republicans, it was us against the bullshit. And I think the one thing that is,
I agree.
the one thing that has changed the dynamic of our entire social structure, not just this election, is the fact that we're all walking around now with instant communication. It's the new X unknown. that we've
Right.
never had it. So, add that into the rest of it, because this has an effect on our whole being, on our mind structure, our DNA, just as much as eating GMO foods would,
Right. Yes.
But there's so much I see that's in danger, because even when we get into, if anything escapes right now, we're putting level 4 diseases and level 2, facilities. So, if these viruses get out, we're looking at a possible complete annihilation.
The world is always evolving. People are always evolving. Our genealogy is always evolving. Our environment is always evolving. So there is actual climate change going on. The water temperatures are definitely rising. I don't know about global warming.
What is it man causing it?
Well, that's hard to argue. We don't have enough data. We don't
Exactly.
have enough data to compute that man has caused it.
Thank you.
Man has contributed, but so has volcanoes. Just the eruption, right? That shut down Heathrow Airport. That caused a heck of a lot of it. China's causing it, in spades.
What do you? Now, I've talked to an EPA retired 38 years, and I asked her about the entire global warming thing. I said, what changes have you seen? Because basically it's a political tool. It really doesn't have much to do with, the environment. Because you said they don't have enough data. And you're a data specialist.
Yes.
So I got to know this.
Right.
If I'm asking you, do they have enough data to explain global warming as a man-made effect?
To me.
You were honest with me in your answer. I'm a scientist. I can't say no. I can't give a definitive on this, right?
Because that's like you saying, you don't know who I am or anything. You can make up and say, should I ask this woman out on a date tonight? I don't know you. I don't know your personality. I don't know what woman you're talking about. But I don't have enough parameters to answer the questions, right? So all we can do is extrapolate. It's like,
very good. She's very good. She's very good.
Chances?
Does she teach you? You teach at all?
no, I don't.
Because you have a very good way, as a scientist, explaining things to lay people in a way that they can understand, which is a very good quality to have. I think any good scientist, that's how they should be able to. You should be able to explain to a 3-year-old, 5-year-old, what you're doing. So it's very good. Thank you. And so, wow, your field is so interesting. Because I've been reading up on it now, and I'm always, as a sociologist, always trying to figure out what the hell are we doing here? Why are we doing this? And where's the walls of this insane asylum?
I read about neuroscience, and I read a lot about neuroscience and epigenealogy and what we're doing with the human race and the human evolution, and I try to be as earth-friendly as possible because I'm not Christian, I guess we'll say,
That was going to be my next question.
I'm very tied to my roots in the earth, so I love the earth, but I know that the earth can take more than I can take. So to me, there's some things that we still take on faith. I know how much oil reserves that we still have, right? But food is an issue, and then there's the economic structure of the country, of the world, is really the biggest downfall of mankind right now.
Well, when you can read
when you get into moral issues like population control and where people are going to live and where people are going to work and how we're going to be self-sustaining, there's a lot of different programs out there right now because the way we're going, we're not going to be able to be self-sustaining.
Well, again, by design.
Yes, by design.
If you read...
And it's by design of
period Carol Quigley's Tragedy and Hope.
Yes. Right.
If you know what the elite's plan was, again, do they want this in front of the Xbox, just be, happy idiots playing away, or are they just going to kill us? They've decided they want to kill us. So that
is a very high probability.
Yeah.
But then again, we have people like Hillary Clinton was on the board when Walmart decided that none of their employees were going to be full-time employees except for store managers, so they didn't have to provide health care for them. Therefore, driving the need for millions of Americans to have government-provided health care insurance. So, little bitty pebbles in the pond ripple out, cause long-term effects. And this has been happening for generations. Long time coming.
Oh yeah.
Right? And that's just one example, right? And that's...
No, you follow the entire whole social programming agenda back. We're Albert Pike and, go on and on.
Right. science. You study people, and you study people's behaviors, and you study what influences people's decisions.
And again, we're getting back to the flow of information, the data, what you're talking about, where's the food production, how many people are going to starve, how many will remain alive, who do we want to remain alive, who do we want to starve to death. These things are all in play and always are in play.
Well, and then there's another even base question that you haven't asked yet. Is there anybody manipulating the data sets?
And?
There are always people manipulating
I would think
the
so.
data sets.
I would think so.
There are always people manipulating the data, just like how history is written to show what they favor.
For Stalin, it's not the people that vote that count, it's the people that count the votes.
If you are a politician that runs on a platform of climate change, then you hire scientists who are all for climate change and can pull up all sorts of data points that point to man-made climate change. If you're a politician that doesn't, you hire scientists that don't.
But
so you influence the data.
Indeed, but I've studied enough on the climate aspect, part of this.
I know people on both sides of the fence, and they argue adamantly.
Yeah, but when you
I usually set up both of them.
You're absurd,
a lot of what the climate alarmists talk about has been proven to be manipulated data. It's been flawed. WikiLeaks, whistleblowers, people that have, it's coming out now. When you look at who's funding, because you always follow the money, right? Let's go back to information. Let's follow the money. Who
benefits from the action?
Who was funding all of the entire whole global warming? The big oil companies.
Right.
Now why would they do that? Because then they get to make money off of the byproduct of their byproduct by trading carbon credits. So they actually wind up having the tree huggers who think they're fighting against the oil companies actually working. It's a beautiful scam. Plus, it's one of the bricks, a big brick, in the New World Order plan to formulate a world government. You have to have a world tax. What is the one thing we all do? We produce carbon. So we become taxable.
Right.
Or the air we breathe becomes taxable.
We're taxing water now.
Yep.
Yes.
Again, so here's the scam.
Runoff water.
The whole thing was an engine. That's why I say where they're right now indoctrinating children as 5 and 6 years old in school about climate change, saying your parents are wrong. If they say anything, you got to turn them in. They're making laws against people, skeptics of climate change. Now, when you get to that point, your argument's lost.
Right, because it doesn't matter.
So we know it's
not.
We know it's not the ones that are promoting it. Or they're either one, dumber than a trainload of hammers, for not seeing the corruption in the science of it.
Right.
Or they're in on the hoax, and you should consider them a mortal enemy. There's no in between here. So anybody say, it's real, like, here we are again. They're either dumber than a box of rocks or they're in on the game. They're trying to con you.
Or they're following someone else's agenda.
Well, there might be nuances, but I'm saying, it basically comes down to ignorance or willful.
Right.
Yes. One of the two. So you can't say that there's scientists on the side, but again, unless they are one and on the game, or they're toast. So you shouldn't be listening to them.
Well, the way a scientist's mind works is they want to figure it out, right? But we're predisposed to certain beliefs based on, we'll go back to that existentialism, whether you're pre-programmed to believe it or whether or not your environment
If you're scientists and scientists, like you brought up about the different individualities that are all made differently, each one of their own way. Indeed, there's like engineers seem to be wired in a certain way. I love engineers the way they think. It's cheap. It's like that. Great, this is how it fits. So I can always say, this is great, that they think, And scientists too, because you're scientists, you have to think so analytically. You look at, you take that, well, of course, scientific, right?
But you also have a lot of assumptions. You also build a lot of things on, these are the things that we all, okay, so go back to Monty Python philosophers, right? Okay. How the argument reason. So long as everyone agrees with the base premise, even if it's been proven or not. Einstein's theory of relativity. We cannot prove Einstein's theory of relativity, but modern day physics operates based on. We all agree that Einstein's theory of relativity is
evolution is still in a theory.
That's true, right? Everything is still. We have not proven it, but we're all agreeing that the premise is true until we can disprove it, because we cannot prove it, right? So scientists are still working with a thin layer in many areas, and until we have enough data, all we can do is build up.
Back to data again.
Well, that's my field, right?
What she does, yes.
Until we have enough
And
data.
when you go to work, someone will be your field. I can't imagine you're flipping burgers with this one.
It's wide open. I'm thinking about going into internet security or
Online security?
internet.
Cybersecurity, very good.
Or I want to go work for Lowe's so bad.
Lowe's?
He's a builder. He can
Oh,
be an
wonderful.
engineer.
That'd be cool.
But no, there's another job. The grocery stores, working on all their conveyor belts and all their packaging equipment that I'm thinking about.
So you're pretty much an entrepreneur, go out there, American kind of, let me figure it out, do something, see if
Oh
it's
yeah,
very
I'll
much
make
so.
all my crap in there. Not crap, product. Crap I whip up in an hour or so, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, what happened to the good, I'm looking for, I think there's, I don't know, well, I'd like to believe this, that a trend would be that we go back to handcrafted, you know, hands-on kind of deals, you know.
Craig's nipple on that handcrafted stuff
Healthier.
is all identical.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah, yeah. Well, craftsmen of old probably could do it. I always marvel at the craftsmen of old.
When
When
they
they
get really
all
close.
electricity, now computers, now that thing, you look at the intricate carving and
But
everything.
your handcrafted stuff is exactly the same as my handcrafted stuff way over there, right?
Right.
I know. Again, well, I think we go into 3D printers.
Right.
They got
right.
computers now that can do Rembrandt,
Yeah.
like this. So
We have scribes now are making great architecture just by dragging a pin.
yeah. Wow, it's been a fabulous conversation. I've been sitting here wondering when it was going to happen all day and it did.
Oh, good. Do you ever get that?
I'm glad I
You know.
Oh.